ready, Monarchs fans? It's time for the Old Dominion Football Show with Bruce Rader and Coach Bobby Wilder.
It only gets better. The Old Dominion Monarchs, in the midst of their best season since moving up to FBS, scored over 50 points and picked up another signature win last week, this time over West Division champion Southern Miss. That followed a big win over Marshall the game before. With 2 games left, what's next? Let's find out. The Old Dominion Football Show starts now. I'm Bruce Rader along with head coach Bobby Wilder. Let's go back to July, Coach. Southern Miss picked to finish first in the West. You beat them. Marshall picked third in the East. You beat them. Old Dominion was picked to finish in 6th place. I guess you just can't count on those preseason polls.
No, you really can't, Bruce. And it always comes down to, and I said this at the media day, it comes down to how does your quarterback perform? And right now we're really fortunate. David Washington's performing at a high level, and he values the football with only 3 turnovers in 10 games. And then the development of your defensive line. And our defensive line the other night had 6 sacks. Bumi Rotimi, defensive end, set the single-season school record. He has 7 sacks now. And when you look around the league, Bruce, your quarterbacks, your defensive line tells you a lot.
These guys are so young. You're going to have them for what, the next 10 years?
That's the most exciting part. We have 114 players currently on the team, and 101 of them will be back next year. So we're still developing. We're still trying to become a really good football team.
The future is bright, but the present is now. An impressive win over Southern Miss Saturday. Everybody looks at the 51 points that you scored, but this game was dominated by your defense, which came up with 3 quick turnovers.
Yeah, it really was, Bruce. The first quarter told the story. We got 3 turnovers in the first quarter, and our offense turned them into touchdowns to take a 21-0 lead. And then at the end of the game, Bruce, when they got it to 44-28, we got the sack for a safety, we got the strip by Rotimi, and the touchdown by Coward. In this game, Bruce, our defense had 5 turnovers, 6 sacks for minus 57 yards, 5 forced fumbles. They recovered 4 of them and returned them for 30 yards, and then the interception. It was clearly the most havoc we've ever created in a game.
Now, I talked about this on the Sports Wrap earlier this week. You have the best turnover margin in all of college football, tied with 7th-ranked Washington and 14th-ranked Western Michigan, and just ahead of number 2-ranked Ohio State.
Yeah, that's really been the key to our success this year. That's why we're 7-3. That's why we're 5-1 in the East, tied for first, is the kids valuing the football. And when you look offensively, Bruce, I was looking at this morning. David Washington's had 267 pass attempts, only 3 interceptions. On offense, we've carried the ball 367 times without a fumble, and that's the kids really valuing the importance of the football. That's Coach Scott, our offensive coordinator, trying not to put David in really challenging situations like a 3rd and 20, Bruce, when people are playing prevent. You don't necessarily throw the ball into coverage, run the ball or throw the ball short, really value the football. And then defensively, our kids are working hard at trying to be in the right place, and then when they tackle, try to rip the ball out. So we've had good success with that.
And David's finally listening to you. He's not taking chances. He's not trying to get those extra yards with oftentimes cause turnovers.
He's done a great job with that all year, Bruce. You saw a couple examples in Southern Miss where we didn't protect him very well. This was a tough game for our very young offensive line, and he'd throw the ball away or he'd scramble, he'd run. Again, I go back to this, Bruce. David Washington values the football.
Tomorrow, you play in one of my favorite stadiums, Florida Atlantic, down in Boca Raton. I know it's a cliche, but it seems that you guys play each other every year, and it always comes down to the wire.
Yeah, we're really 2 evenly matched teams, Bruce. Florida Atlantic's a good team. They've won their last 2 games, and what I'm always impressed with them, the way they play. They just play hard, they compete, they know who they are. You mentioned we beat them on a field goal 2 years ago that hit the upright and went through.
I was there.
And in 14, Bruce, that got us to 6-6. We were actually bowl eligible. And then last year, they broke our hearts. They beat us 33-31 and knocked us out of a bowl. I expect, Bruce, this game will be very similar to the games we played the last 2 years. It'll be a battle.
And as well as your defense played, on the road, they can't afford to give up the big play.
No, we can't, Bruce. We allowed 14 explosive plays against Southern Mississippi, Southern Miss's offense against our defense. And what I mean by explosive plays, at least 10 yards on a run, or 15 yards on a pass. What saved us in that game, because this was the most explosive we've had since the Western Kentucky game, what saved us was all the turnovers, all the havoc plays, the sacks, the interceptions. That really saved us.
All right. It's been a long season. I know it's inevitable. Guys are going to get nicked up, especially because they're young.
Right.
How is everybody with 2 games to play?
We've got 32 players that have got some form of bumper or bruise, and I explained to our guys, there's all 129 FBS teams in the country right now feel like they do. You're 15 weeks into it with preseason and the season. They're working really hard, though, Bruce, in the training room with the strength coaches. They're doing everything they can to stay healthy. We've cut back on practice time, which I always do at this time of the year, but everybody will be ready to go Saturday.
All right, sounds good. Up next, from Western Branch High School to the University of Connecticut, and now to Old Dominion, where he belonged all the way.
He sure did.
Josh Mariner has been around, and now he faces another
back.
test. Indeed. Nathan Epstein in the 1-minute drill, coming up next on the Old Dominion Football Show.
Well, he's going to be playing. Welcome back to the Old Dominion Football Show and the 1-minute drill. Today, a face that some of you Friday Night Flights fans may remember, Josh Mariner, running back at ODU after spending a couple years at UConn. So, Josh, first, what was it you missed most about Hampton Roads?
I miss my family. I'm a family man, and I miss them so much. Being able to play in front of them every week, it was one of the best feelings that I had while I was in high school.
Brandon Addison also plays for the Monarchs, so what is it like playing with your brother again?
I mean, it's great. We've been playing since we've been in middle school, and it's one of the best feelings ever. We feed off each other's energy. We go after it. We're tenacious together, and it's one of the best things I can ever have this part of my life.
What were some of those memories you have where your brother just got on your nerves?
Coming back home, and we're sitting on the couch, oh, I want to watch TV. You want to watch TV? No, it's my turn. Stuff like that. So it's just little things, but, I mean, we love each other.
What is the thing you guys are most competitive with?
Most competitive with? Probably cooking. He think he can actually cook now. I've been cooking since I was young. And after a while, when he first got to college, he started cooking a lot more. And so we've kind of been grilling out and trying to see who can cook something else on the grill, who can do it better.
What's the best prank one of you has either pulled on the other?
We were in high school, and I was supposed to pick him up from somewhere, and I act like I wasn't there for the longest time. I probably waited around a nice hour. He almost called my father to come pick us up, and then I came back around the corner and got him. So that's probably the best one that I've done.
What is the thing that you most look forward to being a Monarch?
I'm wearing this blue and gray, wearing this blue and silver. It's the best thing that I've ever could have thought about. I always wanted to play for ODU coming out of high school. I had some personal things going on in my life that made me go away, but it's great to be back.
Josh Mariner, back playing for Old Dominion. You can catch him on Saturdays, and now he's survived the 1-minute drill. Josh, say goodbye to the Monarch Nation.
Goodbye, Monarch Nation. Come see us play.
Coach, it was good to get Josh back home.
Oh, it sure was. And Bruce, you talk about somebody that exemplifies our aim high philosophy. We have aim high on the front of our helmet, being a great person, student, and athlete. That's him. He graduated from Connecticut in 3 years. That's why he could play this year. He'll get his master's degree at Old Dominion. He's on our leadership council. Great person.
The kind of guy you want to have on your team.
Sure
and when
is.
we come back, it's time to turn it over to you, the fans. It's the Coach's Corner. You're watching the Old Dominion Football Show. Time now for the Coach's Corner. Remember, email your questions to bruce.rader@wavy.com. Coach, first question is from Richard in Virginia Beach. Now that Taylor Heineke is back on the Vikings roster, do you think we will actually see him play in a game, and how proud are you of his success?
Oh, I definitely think we're going to see him play. He's going to play in the NFL. He's going to be a good player. He's worked so hard to get where he is. He understands the importance of hard work. And like I always say, Bruce, good things happen to good people. It's going to happen for Taylor.
All right, next question. Justin from Chesapeake wants to know, when you see non-Power 5 schools like Western Michigan and Troy in the top 25, you use that as a motivational tool that it can happen at Old Dominion as well.
Yeah, it's very good for everybody in our organization to see. And as you know, Bruce, we're still growing. I mean, we're only 8 years old. This is only our third year through this transition process. But when you see that, what it tells you is if you can compete for and win your conference championship, you're going to have a shot at something bigger. So it is good motivation.
All right. 2 games left in the season. You are bowl eligible for the first time in school history. Is there anything that you can share with us about possible bowl plans, or is it too early?
Well, we know, Bruce, that we're going to get on a plane. We're going somewhere, and we're going to kick a ball in the air and play somebody. So basically what I've said to Wood Sealy, you just tell us where we're going, who we're going to play. The way the league does it, Bruce, if you win the conference championship game, you get your first choice.
Okay.
If you lose the conference championship game, second, and then third, fourth, so on down. So as we stand today, we're in that third slot. There's some really good bowls to choose from.
So even though there's a lot of rumors going around,
right,
you would tell the fans, don't make airplane reservations until we get the official word, and that
right.
would be?
December 4th, the official announcement will come out from ESPN because they own most of the bowls. And we're going to host a bowl selection party, Bruce, which we want everybody to come to.
All right. Have a great trip in Florida, Coach.
Thank you.
Hope
Appreciate
you come
it.
back with another win. Old Dominion at Florida Atlantic tomorrow at 6 o'clock. You can watch the game live on CampusInsiders.com. See you next week on the Old Dominion Football Show.